Hi everyone, for today's video I'm doing a water marble French tip nail art design. So here I'm just removing the marble from the water. This is one I made about 2 hours ago and I allowed it to dry in the water, and now I'm just pulling it onto some paper towel. So then with an orange wood stick I just roughly measured the width that I want to cut the marble into for the French tip. And then with some very small scissors I'm just going to cut that into strips and make sure to cut it just a tiny bit thicker than what I wanted. I really like this method of water marbling because it's a lot less messy, and this way you can do French tips and you don't have to clean off all the extra around the edge. It's really quite neat and tidy and there wasn't much cleanup involved at all. And now I've got 10 little strips all cut up. So now I applied my base coat. At the moment I'm using a ridge filling base coat by Revita Nail. I've stopped using nail hardening base coat because I read that it makes your nails break because sometimes they get too hard, so I've stopped using it altogether and I just use ridge filler now. And then with a very pale sort of sheer red colour nail polish I'm painting on 2 coats. This is just to create a nice coloured nail bed for the French tip. And now I sealed it all in with my fast drying top coat. And I did this because I want to stick the water marble strips onto a completely dry nail. Now this is my homemade peel off cleanup solution. If you want to see how I made this, I'll leave a link in the video bar below. But I use this to sort of clean up, minimize the cleanup afterwards. So this is one tip already applied. And now I'm ready to do the rest. So basically I just got the little strip that I'd cut up and I press it against my nail. And then I just sort of push it down. And then once you've got that in position, you're just going to clean off the edges with some acetone. So here I'm just pushing it into place to make sure it's really neat and tidy. And then the cleanup brush I use is an old eyeliner brush that I didn't like using for eyeliner, so I use it for cleanup. And it is actually quite small, so it does a really good job at this. And then I just pressed the brush against the nail with lots of acetone nail polish remover on it. Now it's time to do the other side. And then I went ahead and did all of my nails, and I decided they needed something, so before I put on a top coat I've painted a very thin red strip at the bottom of the French tip. I thought otherwise it looked a bit incomplete in my mind. So now the tip when drawing these lines is if you don't want it to come out too thick like I have, just don't press as hard, so the lighter you press the thinner your line will be. And now it's time for the top coat. I did my best not to press too hard with the top coat and not to go over the same area more than once. And this is my finished design. So now I'll show you how I created the water marble, which I showed you at the beginning that I was cutting up. So these are Maybelline Super Stay 7 nail polishes. These water marble really nicely. I've got almost every colour and they all water marble really well. So, and they're quite cheap. I bought mine from, I think it's Chemist Warehouse, and they were like maybe $5 each or $6 each, so not expensive at all. And even though one of the dots just then didn't drop in the middle, I'm not too fussed, because once I start pulling the marble off to the edges of the glass, it's all going to create a really beautiful pattern. And yeah, if you want to help it spread out, you just sort of wobble the glass a little bit, and that'll help the polish move to the edge. And if you're new at water marbling, you need to use room temperature water for this step. So I just use the bottled water that I drink out of that hasn't been in the fridge. It's not filtered or anything, it's just tap water that I haven't put in the fridge basically. And this is just a nail striper brush that's had polish dry on the tip of it. I find this really good for water marbling. And then I'm just gently dragging the pattern in lots of different directions. And this is so that it has quite a fine detail when I slice it up. But as I've already done my nails, now I might use this on my toes. I really hope you enjoyed watching my video. Please thumbs up if you liked it, and I'll see you soon.